Hi, I'm back and I'm here for another mead video. This time I am combining chocolate and peanut butter. We'll see how this works out. Anybody who knows me knows that I love peanut butter. I eat a lot of peanut butter. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but since I was a kid, I one of my earliest memories is opening up the refrigerator and seeing like a big bucket of Adam's peanut butter and having like a whole daydream about living in a land made of peanut butter and eat like I had this whole thing just looking at so it goes deep. I love peanut butter. Anyway, so I'm surprised by this point I haven't made any kind of peanut butter mead. I wasn't quite sure how to go about it. So this I'm winging all on my own. And this one is a peanut butter cup mead. And because I love peanut butter cups too. I mean, who doesn't? As you can see, I don't have a full carboy here. I started this about 10 days ago and I was step feeding it. I had my first meat explosion. I don't know how I got by for so long without it happening. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you what I did here because for whatever reason, I didn't record any of the first couple of steps here. So this video is going to be a from start to bottling and tasting video. So there'll be more involvement with this mead in the next little clip. But as it is now, I'm just going to tell you what I did. What did I do? I took, I boiled some water and then I added the honey. So I boiled about half a gallon of water. I added the honey. I added a strong cup of black tea. And I think that was it. And then I put it into the carboy, shook it up really well to oxygenate it, and then I added cold water to top it off. And while that was happening, I did my whole thing with the Go Firm. I took some of the hot liquid, put a half teaspoon of Go Firm in there, set that aside. When that was cooled off to body temperature, I added in my yeast, which I used. The only yeast I have laying around right now is EC1118. So that's what I used. I added my yeast once everything had cooled down in the Go Firm slurry. Wait, what am I trying to say? I added the yeast to the Go Firm once it was body temperature and I stirred it up, set it aside. Once that was going and this liquid was body temperature, I pitched the yeast, put on my label, took a gravity reading, did the airlock and bung thing. And the original gravity for this was 1.114. I did use 3 pounds of raw honey for this recipe. And that's it. I just did a basic mead. And then I was going to step feed, which I did do. When I went to feed it after 24 hours, there weren't even any bubbles in the airlock. And I was like, oh, that's strange. There's no bubbles in the airlock. Whatever. I'll add my. I think I like the airlocks that are more of like the S shape because you can hear it go bloop, bloop, bloop. And for whatever reason, I think I prefer that over these, but this is all I have left. So that's what I'm using. What was I talking about? Oh, so I took the lid off. I didn't degas it or do anything, which I'm not the best about doing anyway. That's why I'm shocked that this never happened to me before. I poured in my quarter teaspoon of Fermaid O, and this literally exploded. Obviously the glass didn't. It shot out. And I keep my stuff in a closet, and of course I didn't have like anything protecting, so it covered everything in the closet. It covered me. It still splattered all over the walls, even though I tried to clean it. I need to get back to cleaning that a little better because I can look over there and still see some splats. So that was my adventure with my peanut butter cup mead, and I had to share that. So I wasn't really going to do a video for this, I think, and then it was like, well, I had an adventure with it, so I guess that's worth sharing. you always want to make sure that before you're adding your yeast nutrient that you are letting off some of those gases, because there's a buildup of CO2 created by the yeast. At least that's how I understand it. And it's just like anything. I think it's like, the carbonation, and it explodes when you add fermade O, apparently. So this is still really sticky. I think that's it for, so this is where we're at now. Next thing I did. The next thing I did was after about, I think it was 8 or 9 days, when it looked like there was less activity in here and fermentation probably was close to being done, just based on what it looks like. I added half a cup, or about 100 grams of cacao. Am I pronouncing that right? Cacao. I want to say cocoa, but cacao nibs. Where are my cacao nibs? I'll be right back. I'll get them. All right, I'm back with my cacao nibs. Cacao. If I'm saying it wrong, I just have a fear of mispronouncing things because I do that a lot. Anyway, these are great. I mean, just as a dessert for myself, I'll get a spoonful of peanut butter. See, I eat a lot of peanut butter. Peanut butter with some honey on it and some cacao nibs is pretty darn tasty if you want kind of a healthier sweet treat. It's really high in saturated fat though, but whatever. Back to this. So I took about a half a cup of these, which I did measure out in grams. It was 100 grams. And I added it to my traditional mead. And I'm going to let this sit in there for a couple weeks and start tasting it to see if I can taste the chocolate. And when it gets to a point where I think it's good, I'm going to rack this and go on to the next step, which I don't know how this is going to work out. I did research. I watched a couple of videos that people have made using peanut butter. I think somebody used PB powder. And I looked up recipes for how to make like a peanut extract or how to add peanuts to mead. And I really didn't find very much I didn't find much. I didn't even find anything on extracts. But since I've been making extracts, I know how to do it. So I don't know if this is going to work. So by the end of this video, we'll see if this actually will flavor my mead. But I took a bunch of roasted peanuts that were in the shell. I took the shells off and all the skins, and I chopped them. I chopped them roughly, put them in here, covered them with vodka. And when did I start this? I started this a month ago. And when you open it and smell it, it does smell like peanuts. And I know, the oil is being extracted. I don't know how that's going to mix with the mead, but like I said, when we get around to the next clip in this video, I will be racking this, tasting it, adding some of this. So I will be right back. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie. This is husband Katie, Mr. Katie, and we are here for another tasting video. We've already done 2. So this time we are tasting, this one's actually I'm going to do all in one video. So this is the tasting for my peanut butter cup mead, and I've been really looking forward to this one because anybody who knows me knows that I eat a lot of peanut butter. Would you say I eat a lot of peanut butter?
Yeah,
since I was a kid,
They know her at Costco.
Yeah.
Here comes the peanut butter lady.
Yeah, I do, but I like to make sure we have enough peanut butter. Okay, so let's talk about what I did to this. So there are all the steps leading up. I did just a basic mead, and then I added some cacao nibs, which is earlier in the video, so you'll see that. I added the cacao nibs, and I was meaning to leave them in there for maybe 7 days, but life got a hold of me, and they stayed in there for at least 2 weeks, if not 3, if not even more than that. I don't really remember. So it's a little longer than I wanted to have the chocolate in there, but that's what happened. I let this go dry, and then I added my peanut extract that I had made a couple months prior, and I just couldn't taste the peanut in there no matter how much I added, so I added the whole thing, which was probably about a half a cup. Again, that's vodka, you know, so I added alcohol to this. And then I also back sweetened with 6 ounces of honey. Then I pasteurized it to make sure that, you know, my bottles don't explode and all of that. And now here, and then I bottled it, and it is beautiful. It's a beautiful, what would you say? That's just like a honey color.
It's a honey color, yeah.
It's pretty, about as clear as it could be. And I'm going to go ahead and pour us each a glass. And are you ready to try this one? Okay, here we go. Oh, and the ABV on this one, not really counting the vodka that I added to it, is 14%. So, we'll go ahead and give you we'll just do a little. Okay. So, it's very clear.
Very clear. Darker than the other meads that we've tried.
Mm-hmm. I can smell the peanuts when I sniff it. Smell that? Or do you smell honey?
I smell more the cacao nibs, I think.
Okay. Well, I can definitely smell those as well, but I can pick up the peanut. I have a feeling the cacao is going to be just overpowering.
Maybe like a dark chocolate peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ready to take a sip?
Mm-hmm. Very chocolatey, very peanut buttery. The cacao nibs, to me, when I ate them on their own, it was like, get this out of my mouth. I didn't like it, so I don't have that reaction to this. It's not overly chocolatey. It's not like I don't like chocolate. It's just those cacao nibs did not sit well with me.
No, they didn't. And I hang out and I'll get like a scoop of peanut butter. I'll drizzle some honey on it and sprinkle cacao nibs on there and have that as like a snack. So I like them. I would say for me, it's a little heavy on the cacao, and I knew that was going to happen because I forgot about them or didn't make it a priority. Did not prioritize.
Definitely has a very chocolatey flavor. It's not hard to pick the flavor out of this one.
Would you? But I think it's smooth and like it's pretty high alcohol content, but it's not as bitey as some of the other.
No, it's not.
Other ones.
You feel a little bit of a burn going down, though, I would say. The vodka definitely makes itself known. Yeah.
I would say this is something I could have a small glass of. It's very dessert-like.
It's a dessert.
It's very viscous. It's not as light as some of my other meads. But I think it's pretty good. But again, it would just be like a sipper.
Yeah. A little goes a long way.
A little. And I have a feeling just this much will be. Yeah. So, one more video to go. Yeah, I think this is good. So, it's personal taste how much you want something to taste like dark chocolate, but it's definitely that dark chocolate flavor that's overpowering in this. But I think it's lovely. It's what I was going for the most part, aside from forgetting about the cacao nibs.
I think it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. Peanut butter cup mead. Yay, success. Start to finish, made some peanut butter cup mead, recorded some of it. And yeah, I think that's it for the video. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my glass. See you next time.